How are you guys?
Oh, good.
I'm so sorry I ran in sweaty and couldn't say hi because I was running
Well,
late.
speaking of sweaty, I love the summer attire. Thank God for this heat wave because the two of you, I'm into
kids.
it. It's like the last dog days of summer outfits. It's
It's
great.
hotter the beginning of September than it was all of August. We were very lucky.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got out to Reese Park the other day.
I love Reese Park.
In the water. Got in the water.
I haven't done that
Ate
one.
some,
This summer.
ate some ice cream.
Went to dropped off my 8-year-old first day of school today, little Coco,
Worst day ever.
and everyone was dressed like a beach bum. It was spectacular.
Yeah.
All the kids are
yeah.
blonde, and they just like wearing like shoes with no socks, and like they look stoned. It's great.
Is that good?
So first day of what grade is this?
Third.
Third grade. Wow.
See, you guys are smart, so you probably didn't have what I had as far as just the hives. Do you even at this age get triggered by back to school commercials? Because it was something that was so horrifying to me, something that I so dreaded. I would start dreading back to school anything before August. And even to this day, at my old age, if I see a back to school commercial, I am immediately the fear, the sweats, all of it comes back.
Who pushed you in the locker, Bill?
Yeah.
I was just dumb. And the idea that I had repeated fifth grade, that's not a great fucking thing socially. And just all the tutors and the homework and the quizzes and trying to pretend like you were sick to get out of them.
Fifth grade?
Huh?
Were you touched?
We prefer to say revisited. I readdressed fifth grade.
You know what? You perfected fifth grade.
Thank you.
Were you dyslexic?
No, I was tested for every learning disability in the book, and they found out I was just dumb. Okay. Thanks for digging, Nance.
Because I mean, honestly, I don't think that you're dumb.
You're not dumb. He's
mean-
not dumb.
I'm smart in my own way.
You can be a smart, like, serial substance abuser or whatever, but I can't see how that would have played in fifth
My
grade.
mom loves when I
Yeah.
tell this story, but I remember after going to like the 8th child psychologist or whatever, and no, I couldn't get diagnosed for anything, ADD or nothing. And I'm just like, I finally look at my mom and I'm like, Mom, am I just dumb? She goes, Bill, the important thing is you are a very nice boy. Now, I was dumb, but I wasn't stupid. And I knew what that meant right away. That was confirmation, is what that was. Nice boy.
Did
I hit her after that.
I did not. Did like people call you like retard and stuff?
Yeah, were you
They
like
did
made
not.
fun of?
Yeah. Luckily, I was able to switch schools when I repeated fifth grade because that's not a good look.
Yeah.
You don't want the kids that you were friends with to. Wow, I didn't think we were going to get into this. Why don't you pick something that's more.
How does that make you feel, Bill?
I mean, Bill is so smart. That's
Yeah,
I
and so
find
quick.
this genuinely puzzling.
Yeah, I do too.
I was good at public speaking.
I don't know. If you've ever sat down with Bill and tried to show him how to cut and edit a video and then upload it to YouTube,
Okay.
you might think he should have been held back in 6th grade as well. just saying.
You know what the worst part is? After your third lesson, you just looked at me and said I was a nice person,
I did. No, that's so true.
and it all came back.
He uses his pleases and thank yous. Well, speaking of school,
Spell 'em, though.
looks like the kids are not the only ones going back to the classrooms. So are cameras. That was a great
That
intro.
was incredible.
If you have to say it, then it's not good.
I guess
Sit
not.
back and wait for the compliments.
So we're starting with an elementary school in Effingham County, Georgia. Superintendent Yancey Ford. Love that name. I never hear a Yancey.
I didn't even know it was a name.
Yeah, this is from Newsweek.
Or did they misspell Nancy?
Oh, that's possible. They claim that this move is one of a number of new, quote, safety initiatives being introduced, which will also be an opportunity to, quote, highlight exemplary teachers. Supporters for putting cameras in classrooms said this was to increase the role of parents, but critics suggested the move was intended to spy on teachers and monitor what they teach. The school board says, as we continue to look at ways we can support teachers and students from a safety standpoint, we felt like cameras in the classroom would be the next step. We've always had cameras in common areas through the school, but the classroom cameras would be an added safety feature. We have so many great teachers, and the camera systems will be an option down the road to highlight exemplary teachers. Guess what? If a teacher doesn't like it and they decide to obstruct the view of the camera, their weekly salary will be fined by up to 5%.
Oh,
This is a
Isn't
public
that
school?
crazy? This is a great question.
I think it is a public school.
Yeah, it must be.
So, my question about the when I first saw this, I thought, well, they're putting it in because they're getting hysterical about school shootings and they want to have some, documentation of who did it. Then it turns out it's nothing like that. Then it turns out both sides are full of crap. When you're saying like, well, it's an opportunity for us to highlight exemplary teachers. Is this like a reality show? Like they're going to cut together like the best moments of Mrs. Kephart?
A sizzle reel.
Yeah.
Well,
Of social
they
studies.
could, because this footage will be broadcast by live stream.
What?
And made available to parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know when this started? This started with I don't know if you ever had one, and if you did, then you're going to be with the baby monitors.
Oh,
so
okay.
back no, we never had one either. It's like the kid is crying, you can hear the kid crying. Okay, you're either going to like help the kid not cry or let he or she
Right
cry
out.
himself to sleep. Like, what is this need to constantly be like, you don't have enough to do in your life? You just want to like sit there and look at the monitor of your kid being taught?
No, it's also it's what happens when trust erodes in all like neutral institutions. Not to go Nick Gillespie high level on this, but but that's actually what's happening on public schools for a lot of good reason, because public schools went a little bit crazy before COVID, and then during COVID, everyone started to pay more attention about how their public schools are run. Like in Portland, Oregon, Nancy's favorite city and next city.
Where they're completely scrapping every previous way of adjudicating kids.
Yeah, if you cheat,
Everything's gone.
you can't get.
Cheating's
you won't
fine.
get a
Late
bad
is
grade and
fine.
stuff.
No problem.
God, they just got to call that place anarchy.
I mean, it's a hazmat
As
zone.
Yale's Chris said, they must really, really hate kids. They
Yeah.
must really, really
So
hate
insane stuff is happening, and people are like at home watching libs of TikTok while some like gender amorphous animal or not animal, as a teacher will say something like, we're trying to indoctrinate kids about whatever pronouns or something, and so they panic and they're worried about what's happening in classrooms. Meanwhile, the most extreme examples of those teachers are saying things like, well, of course we're not going to tell you if your kid has changed their pronoun to an it and self-identifies as a wolf. So like all the weird stuff is going on. So what do? You want to have some kind of like, oh my God, there's craziness in school. We better have cameras. So, I asked, it was a public or private school because it must be in a state that does not have strong public teacher unions, because teacher unions have the whip hand in democratic cities like in New York. They wouldn't tolerate this for half. It's like 5% pay doc for not showing the Super 8 camera. What this is going to happen if there's any kind of like cut, it's not going to be for Teacher of the Year. It's going to be bad kids. What you gonna do? It's going to be like a reality TV show,
Which would be awesome.
just
That
like
would be
boogers
awesome.
and punching, and it's going to be horrible.
Well, Nancy, speaking of the baby monitors, remember when there was a little time kind of recently where they were being hacked into?
baby monitors were?
People were hacking into some of these monitored devices, talking to kids or
Babies?
whatever. This might have been one or two instances. But when I read this, I immediately thought, you're going to get some really crazy, evil characters hacking into this system, watching your children
Bane.
in class.
Yep.
And if you're worried about school shooters, especially, like, you then know where all the kids are at every time. That is terrifying to
On a
me.
piece I'm just writing right now, which I won't go into because I want to scoop myself, but it was talking about putting this sort of stuff online for bad actors. It's almost like, here's the honey,
Yep.
right here. And so, like, you're going to be creating more or different problems than the ones you're solving. And I think it also probably, this is in Georgia, I believe, it's probably very more of an educational culture war thing. It's like, we're not going to have our kids being told that they're not boys, right? They want to be able to have, you said, like the whip hand on this and maybe avert it. And maybe teachers, as my dad used to say, are like, don't know whether to shit or go blind. It's like, what do we do? We're just here trying to teach, but now we have to be careful. It's
Like, imagine being a teacher, right? It's maybe the first week or it's a tough week and the kids are being unruly. and you know that parents are watching, or they have the ability through the live stream to watch, and you're getting emails every night about things you said or what you did.
I wonder if it'll turn out to be like C-SPAN, right? Because C-SPAN has a unidirectional camera usually in the chamber of the Senate and the House, and which is a wonderful thing. C-SPAN is founded by an American hero whose name I forget, but it's great because we can see what's happening in the people's house. Also, though, because we don't see cameras everywhere, what's happening? They're giving speeches to the camera in front of an audience of 3 people who are sleeping interns or sleeping presidents or Senate Majority Leaders freezing in front of the camera. So it's like it creates this artificial reality. So teachers would be giving these great soliloquies and teaching about Lincoln and putting on funny hats, and the kids are just going to be pummeling each other in the corner with a
That's the camera we want, right?
That's such a good point. It's going to be worse because, they're playing to the camera and the parents rather than even engaging with the kids.
Ryan Lamb, his name is.
It's going to be easier for them to cheat, too. They're focusing on the camera. Although I don't know how.
Easier to cheat?
Sure. The teacher isn't looking at them. They're looking at...
Unless the teacher's like, well, the camera will catch it. I can look back at the footage.
I think you're right. There's not going to be a camera in every corner. It's just going to be one focusing on the teacher because, God forbid, the teacher might say gay or there was slavery. And we can't have that. So it's just going to be on the teacher.
But was there gay slavery?
If they were forced to be gay without their will, I am against it.
Consent.
I said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is from the Huffington Post, HuffPo, as us in the know.
Are you an insider?
That's
How did
true.
you? That is inaccurate.
Wow, it's
yeah. Also,
incredible.
if I may, Washington Post, WAPO.
Wapo. Oh,
And New York Times, NYT. For insiders.
you sound like an older adult. Older adults reveal the things they're simply getting too old to deal with anymore. Someone said, no cap. And I had no idea what that meant. I'm 35. I understand
no
it now.
cap. I've heard that.
But who comes up with this?
I don't know what that means.
I still don't. I'm about to
I've heard
turn
that,
35.
and I don't ask. I don't care.
All right, so here, this was, as most great stories or topics of discussion start, it's a Reddit thread. So a Reddit user asked, what are you simply getting too old for? And here are some of the answers. Someone said, arguing with other people. It makes me think of Keanu Reeves. He gave an interview about growing older, and he said he protects his peace by refusing to argue with anyone about anything. He said, 2 + 2 is 5. You are correct. Have a nice day.
That is so Keanu.
So good. It's so good.
Okay, this one I'm kind of into. Concerts without assigned seating. I'm not showing up hours early to get a good spot and then be stuck there the entire time without being able to sit or use the bathroom, or else I lose my view.
Bathrooms figured big in this one. It's like, no, I'm sorry. If I can't get to a bathroom quickly, I'm not going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hangovers. 3 days to go back to normal is too much now and not worth it. How long do your hangovers last?
I don't have them.
That's because you're a real
Old.
professional.
Alcoholism helps, but you don't roll the dice too heavy.
I don't really get hangovers anymore because I don't drink very much anymore. But when I would, if I would drink it, it would be 2 days.
Yeah.
The first day's really sucky, and then you do whatever you eat a lot of greasy food or whatever, and you go to bed early, and you get up the next day. I still don't feel well. So I'm kind of kicked the hangovers.
You know what I've noticed? You don't get hangovers. You get I'm over it. You don't, because you obviously you don't drink to excess because you're Little Miss Perfect. But if you could talk about a night that you had more than you usually have, I can always tell because you just have this sort of whatever.
I don't have a pep in my step.
Yeah.
That's it. Someone else says, I used to go to the bar on weekends, play darts, listen to the band. It was fun. Now it's just crowded, annoying people, loud music, and overpriced beer with a cover charge. Mm-hmm. I'll still make an appearance for some food or to watch a game, but it will be more of a happy hour thing.
Weekends are for amateurs.
Yeah. For sure. Someone else said they're too old for anything that starts past 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Unless you're eating in Spain.
Yeah, it's
They eat late. Putting up with BS. I'm 64 and will retire in 8 months, and also just filed for divorce. They are living. And hopefully that will be done before retirement. I'm done with it all. This sounds like me, actually. I have looked into buying a co-op condo in a 55-plus community and should have one secured within a couple of months. I'm sorry, just this answer is the fact that they are old. The run-ons and the information we don't need to know about.
No, it gets pretty good though.
My employer seems to think they can call me for advice when I retire. No, they can't because they have been very toxic. And I'm almost done playing that game. My husband thinks he can treat me like crap and not acknowledge anything important to me. I'm done with his toxic behavior. Get a new word besides toxic. He's still in shock that I have the guts to do it. He wanted to continue to be married, but I showed him a list I made of why I needed to leave and why I should stay. And the should stay list was completely blank. He couldn't even argue because it was all true on reasons I should leave. I'm not too old to start a new chapter in my life and enjoy what time I have left.
What was the question again?
Can I
Here's a
divorce
pic of
her?
me and Aunt Jackie's.
Dear diary, I mean Reddit. Another person said lack of sleep is something they're now too old for. All-nighters were once manageable. Now I pull an all-nighter and I am useless. If I do like a red-eye flight.
Oh, red eyes, you think,
it.
when I was younger, it's like, yeah, that's going to save time. Now it's like, no, because you get there, you're like, I got to go to bed now. It's 10:30 in the morning and I need to go to sleep.
Sure. Caring for people who don't care about me. Sure. Sitting on the floor.
That's my favorite one. I'm too old to sit on the floor.
I mean, yeah.
Really?
Kind of like my aforementioned 8-year-old always wants a picnic where you sit on the grass. I'm like, how about we sit on a table? It's got a bench.
Yeah.
Like the knees don't have to do too much.
Aside from sitting on the floor, what are you guys too old for now? Not that either of you are. You're both spring chickens, but I was too old for stuff at 5.
I've really, after our weekend in Cooperstown,
Oh, God. I should have brought some pictures.
besides having a sinus infection, so I was hacking to the point where everyone's like, "Are you okay?" I just can't drink as much.
But you were also like at death's door, too. That was part of it.
I know, but I just came back and I was like, I mean, how many times have you said in your life, like, oh, I should really get in shape or I should really drink less or all this? And then you never do. Or you do a little bit and then you go back. I was just like, you know what? I have to figure out I like booze a lot. I enjoy drinks. I like cocktails. We like to sit at a bar, get a Manhattan, make palomas and all this. But I had to figure out a way to keep drinking, but not drinking very much. And it's working. And yeah,
What's your secret or what advice?
I bought some bottles of like Aperol.
Aperol spritz.
Aperol, or I've got some Campari or whatever, and I just have that with like a lot of club soda. And weirdly now, I'm not missing it. Also, I don't know what it is, but if I drink hard booze, it makes my body hurt. Like my body just hurts. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just not. I mean, I have like a hard drink like once every 2 or 3 weeks, and otherwise just super light. And I don't miss it yet. So
great.
I think I've got too old for drinking. I think I've had I think the limit is like 7,000 drinks, and I think I hit it.
Wait, really?
I know, you're getting close, girl. Got to be careful.
Like this, the 10,000 hours.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
Gladwell
Yeah,
paper.
Bill is an expert.
I gotta think it's more than 7,000 for some of us.
Yeah.
It's a guess. I'm too old for, and I realized this a while ago, and it came up even just yesterday. I'm too old to follow the pronoun gender nomenclature at all. Like, my and what's I say this completely without like hostility or being overly bothered by it. My own personal idea is that my pronoun is I. You call me whatever the fuck
I
you
mean
want.
mine.
I don't care. I mean mine. What do you mean? What's my pronouns? But it comes up like my daughter's thing. It was like, what's her name and what are her pronouns for your 8-year-old? And I just leave it blank because like what? What are we even doing here? But if someone is they and she's got 2 theys in their class, if on those rare occasions I'm around a they or an it or something else, I will try to be I'll try to use it correctly, and I don't mean it. But if they're not in the room, fuck no. I mean, my 8-year-old is like, yeah, Dad, blah 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 is a they. Don't call him a her. I'm like, whatever. They're not there. It's not the point of it. And I know I'm not going to catch up. I know I'm not even going to know like how the mechanics work on various types of modern relationships, and I'm fine with it. It's like I'm not going to keep up. I recognize this at age 55. I'm just like at some point the kids are going to develop their entire own language and formulations. And as long as I'm not asked to do too much and people don't yell at me too much.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to put in the brain work to make a singular a plural and a plural a singular.
Well, now I'm excited. What's the drop, the plug?
So for the fifth column, which you can find at WeTheFifth.substack.com, yesterday I I recorded an hour-long thing talking about the time 20 years ago when me and another drunk, broke, hobo, great pal of mine, Ken Lane, came that close to convincing the former mayor of Los Angeles, Richard Riordan, to start a newspaper. So it was all just telling that story because Richard Riordan died in April at age 92. He was a great old guy. It was a very, very funny, bizarre process in which like none of it made sense on paper. Like you just cold called me out of the blue. I understand. I got to go through Matt Welch to start a newspaper in this town. I'm like, all right. I was like dead broke, living in a one-bedroom in Los Feliz. But it's just a story about that. Nancy helped edit it, which is very nice of her. And people seem to be responding to it well. So
It's also it's a story. It's a story of journalism. It's a story of that in that time. It's the story of Los Angeles in that time. It's just some personal stuff. It's the delivery. It's just I listened to it this morning. I took a walk, and it was just fantastic. It's really worth it. So
Nice.
Yeah, I will we'll listen to that on my way home. That sounds great. Nancy, what do you got?
I just was in Portland on a story. I was just in New Orleans on a story. And I don't have anything in the coming weeks that'll publish, but people can go to my Substacks. They can go to the podcast, which is Smoke 'em If You Got 'em. And also, I've got a place where I write called Make More Pie. I've been a little slow on it, but I'm going to be unfolding some new stuff over there. So go over and find me on Substack.
And please understand that the Make More Pie also refers occasionally to making more pie. So people, you go there for the journalism, but stay there for the recipes.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. I do that.
I would love to know, what is the best thing you ate in New Orleans?
It was a praline. So I was working. When I'm working, I'm not usually like going out and do a lot. I just didn't. But I was walking one night. I was actually getting on a paddle boat. I'd finished my work day. I was like, let me just be touristy, go to a paddle boat. But I was hungry, and I grabbed a praline. And I've had pralines, of course. And of course, anybody that has ever eaten Baskin Robbins knows that pralines and cream is the best flavor. But it was so freaking delicious. I was like, I'm going to make some of these. Maybe with an 8-year-old. I mean, they were just so delicious. So
Could you see the humidity? I can't imagine
yes,
going there.
it was. It was very.
Did your hair get to here?
Oh, my hair was like a couch cushion, basically. Here she comes. No, it was humid.
I wouldn't be able to get through
And
the door.
the thing about I was walking early. I was staying in the French Quarter, and it's like 8:00 in the morning, and I'm walking, and there's just guys sleeping all over on the doorsteps, but it's also so beautiful, and it smells a little bit like poop and fish, but it was just kind of great.
Lovely picture.
It was great.